There are countless things that shape the world we live in. First are the people who inhabit it. They've built remarkable things and continue to influence what lies ahead. Then there are the animals, found in every corner of the globe, whether we welcome them or not. Even the earth itself is extraordinary, filled with natural creations that leave us in awe. With that in brain, many wonders of the world have been credited to humankind because we've created masterpieces that stand toe-to-toe with nature's own marvels. So join us for today's video as we explore 15 landmarks that deserve to be called the 8th wonder of the world. Let's start off with number 15, Sigiriya. Sigiriya, or as people like to call it, the Lion Fortress of Sri Lanka, is one of the most beautiful places on earth. This towering rock fortress has a story carved into stone. Formed from the hardened magma of an extinct volcano, this 660-foot-high column became a royal residence in the 5th century under King Kashyapa. To turn a rock into a palace takes vision and serious willpower. The climb leads through gardens, staircases, fresco-covered walls, and a pair of massive lion's paws carved at the main entrance. That lion-shaped gateway gave the site its name, Sinhagiri, or Lion Rock. The summit was held in the king's palace, offering wide views of the surrounding jungle. Even today, those views are unmatched. What survives now are ruins, but you can still sense the ambition behind the architecture. Sigiriya wasn't just a fortress. It was power made visible, built in isolation, and meant to command. It's Sri Lanka's most visited historic site. Number 14, the Amber Room. BBC calls it Russia's 8th wonder of the world, and they are not wrong. The original Amber Room was a glowing art inside Russia's Catherine Palace, a chamber of gold-backed amber panels, mirrors, and mosaics worth hundreds of millions by today's standards. Designed in the early 1700s and later gifted to Peter the Great, it became one of Russia's prized treasures. But during World War II, the Nazis looted the room and transported it to Königsberg. After that, it vanished. Whether destroyed, buried, or hidden away, its fate remains one of the great unsolved wartime mysteries. In the late 20th century, efforts began to recreate it from old photographs and written records. The restoration took over 2 decades, finally unveiling a faithful replica in 2003. Though it's not the original, the rebuilt Amber Room carries its legacy forward. It stands today not only as a reminder of lost beauty, but also of how much we value what war tried to erase. Number 13, Pink and White Terraces. New Zealand once held 2 natural formations so striking they earned poetic names: the Pink Terrace, known as Fountain of the Clouded Sky, and the White Terrace, called Tattooed Rock. These geothermal wonders formed over thousands of years, layered by mineral-rich water from nearby hot springs. Before 1886, they were major attractions, pulling visitors from around the world to bathe in their unique pools. But that year, Mount Tarawera erupted violently, and the terraces were believed to be completely destroyed, buried under ash and lake water. For over a century, they were thought lost forever. Then, in 2011, researchers claimed to have found parts of the Pink Terrace submerged beneath Lake Rotomahana. That discovery stirred controversy, and debate continues over whether the formations truly survived. What's clear is their legend never faded. Even now, locals and scientists alike remain captivated by their story, proof that beauty, once lost, can still haunt the land it once transformed. Number 12, Novanstein Castle. King Ludwig II didn't just build a castle, he built himself a dream. After losing power during the Austro-Prussian War, he poured his soul into Neuschwanstein, tucked high in the Bavarian Alps. This was his escape. The architecture pulled from Romanesque revival and Gothic styles, but the emotion behind it was pure 19th century romanticism. It was a fantasy in stone, one he never saw finished. Ludwig died in 1886, long before the final towers rose in 1892. Today, it's one of Germany's most visited landmarks, and its story is just as powerful as its silhouette. It even inspired Disney's Sleeping Beauty castle, though nothing beats standing before the real thing. The castle's steep cliffs and storybook towers aren't just beautiful, they're personal. They reflect the inner world of a king who lost his crown and decided to rule a vision instead. That legacy, strange and tragic as it is, still pulls millions to its gates. Number 11. Berlin Cathedral. Berlin's skyline doesn't ask for permission, and the cathedral doesn't either. Built under Emperor Wilhelm II in 1894, this wasn't just a church, it was a statement. Meant to rival St. Peter's Basilica, it brought neo-Baroque architecture right into the heart of the capital. The dome, flanked by 4 towers and topped with a golden cross, demands attention from every direction. Inside, it's even more intense. Marble columns, mosaics, and royal crypts filled with Hohenzollern family members. If you've got the legs for it, the dome's 270 steps give you one of the best views in Berlin. Bombed in World War II, restored over decades and still standing proud, it tells its own version of Berlin's story. Heavy, chaotic, and somehow still standing. It isn't just for worship. It's a monument to everything this city has been through, and everything it's still figuring out. Nothing about it whispers. It's loud, proud, and completely unmissable. Number 10. Borobudur Temple. Borobudur Temple, located in Indonesia, is the world's largest Buddhist monument. Even though no one really knows who made it or how it was accomplished, it's easily one of the most intricate designs ever made. That mystery alone puts it high on the list of potential world wonders. Time and again, ancient civilizations have left behind structures that challenge our understanding, especially considering this one was built without any modern tools. More than 2 million stones were hauled from nearby rivers and stacked without using a single drop of mortar to form a 95-foot step pyramid. That kind of precision and dedication puts today's efforts to shame. And while it's a temple, it's more than that. It's a sacred journey. With over 3,500 carved figures and a ritual layout designed for meditation, the climb tests both body and mind. It's a mix of spiritual depth and architectural brilliance. No wonder it's seen as worthy of joining the world's greatest landmarks. Number 9. Humpback Covered Bridge. The bridge in Virginia might not seem like a global wonder at first, but its history and rare design speak volumes. Built in 1857, it's the oldest surviving covered bridge in the state, and one of the few in the United States with a raised center. Its unique arch-shaped form, where the middle stands taller than both ends, gives it that distinctive humpback look. Though the roof and parts of the walls have been repaired over the years, the bridge still retains its original structure and charm. It's listed on both the Virginia Landmarks Register and the National Register of Historic Places. At a time when modern bridges rely on steel and concrete, this wooden piece of history stands as a reminder of simpler, more deliberate craftsmanship. It might not be huge or flashy, but the care and detail behind its design make it one of the most quietly iconic landmarks still standing today. Number 8. Cloudgate, Chicago. Locals never called it Cloudgate. To Chicago, it's just the Bean, and it's weird enough to become iconic. Created by Sir Anish Kapoor, the 110-ton sculpture landed in Millennium Park in 2006 and instantly became the most photographed thing in the city. It's made of seamless polished steel and warps everything it reflects. The skyline, people, lights, your own awkward selfie. Walk under it, and the center folds your reflection in ways that don't make sense. But that's the charm. It looks like liquid metal caught mid-drip and frozen in place. At first, people weren't sure what to think. Now it's part of the city's identity, right up there with deep dish pizza and Wrigley Field. You can try to explain it to someone, but they've already seen it 1,000 times online. It's not just a sculpture, it's an accidental icon, one that just happens to reflect a little bit of everyone who passes by. Number 7. Chichen Itza. On the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico stands this, once a thriving city and spiritual center of the ancient Maya. The centerpiece, El Castillo, a massive pyramid with 91 steps on each of its 4 sides, aligns with astronomical events. During the equinox, shadows cast by the sun create the illusion of a serpent sliding down the staircase. That level of precision in architecture continues to fascinate researchers and visitors alike. The site wasn't just religious, it was a political and economic hub filled with temples, ball courts, and ceremonial spaces. Chichen Itza was never meant to be subtle. Every carving, stone, and plaza tells a piece of the Maya story. Despite centuries of exposure to the elements, it remains mostly intact. While the full history behind its rituals and decline is still being pieced together, the city has already earned global recognition. It doesn't just whisper ancient knowledge, it stands and shouts it, boldly rooted in the earth where it began. Number 6. Palm Islands of Dubai. The Palm Islands aren't ancient, but they flipped the script on what modern architecture can do. These massive man-made islands, shaped like a palm tree from above, were built right into the Persian Gulf. The project wasn't just about aesthetics. It was a bold move to redefine Dubai's image beyond oil. The islands host high-end hotels, homes, shopping malls, and entertainment spots, creating an all-in-one resort city rising straight from the sea. Tons of sand and rock were used, enough to be seen from space. It took years of planning and precision engineering to pull off. Critics questioned its long-term sustainability, but there's no denying the scale and imagination it took to make it real. It's flashy, no doubt, but it's also an example of what happens when a city refuses to stay in one lane. In a place full of superlatives, the Palm Islands still managed to stand out, bold as ever. Number 5. Castillo de San Marcos. Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine. Augustine is the oldest masonry fort in the continental United States. Built by Spanish engineer Ignacio Daza in 1672, the fort was designed to defend the city against pirates and rival powers. But its real genius lies in its building material, coquina. This rare stone, made from compressed seashells, actually absorbs cannon fire rather than cracking. That gave it an edge in battle no one expected. Over the centuries, the fort changed hands between nations and survived numerous attacks, yet its structure still stands strong. In 1966, it earned a spot on the National Register of Historic Places and has since become a symbol of historical endurance. It isn't just a piece of military architecture, it's proof that clever design and natural materials can outlast centuries of conflict. It's not a ruin, it's a fortress that never gave up. Number 4. Statue of Zeus at Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia stood as a towering tribute to the king of the Greek gods. Crafted by the renowned Athenian sculptor Phidias in the mid-5th century BC, it once graced the temple built for Zeus at the ancient Olympic grounds. Zeus sat bare-chested on an elaborate wooden throne, flanked by carved sphinxes with the bodies of lions, wings of birds, and faces of women. Gold and ivory detailed the figure, making it shine from every angle. At nearly 40 feet tall, Zeus's head nearly scraped the temple's roof. According to legend, Phidias asked Zeus for a sign of approval after finishing the work, and lightning struck the temple soon after. The statue remained at Olympia for over 800 years before being moved to Constantinople, where it was ultimately lost in a fire in 462 AD. Though it no longer stands, it is one of the most awe-inspiring pieces. Number 3. Monasterio de El Escoral. El Escorial, located near Madrid, is a monumental complex that blends power, faith, and legacy. Commissioned by King Philip II in the 16th century, it was built to commemorate Spain's victory in battle and to serve as a royal retreat. But it became so much more. It houses a palace, a basilica, a monastery, a library, a university, and even royal tombs. That mix of roles isn't just impressive, it's unprecedented. The structure itself is austere but massive, with long halls and stone courtyards that stretch in every direction. Inside, vaulted ceilings and detailed frescoes balance its stern exterior with elegance. It was meant to symbolize the might of Spain and the piety of its ruler, and it still carries that weight centuries later. Though it may not get the global attention of other wonders, its historical and architectural importance remains. It's one of those places where everything, design, purpose, legacy, comes together under one roof. Number 2. Panama Canal. Connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, the Panama Canal redefined global trade. Before it opened in 1914, ships had to sail around South America, a dangerous, weeks-long journey. This shortcut wasn't easy. Political issues, disease outbreaks, and engineering setbacks made it one of the most difficult construction projects in history. The French tried and failed in the 1880s. It took American involvement, led by President Theodore Roosevelt, to push it forward. Digging through dense jungle and carving through mountain terrain, workers created a 50-mile waterway complete with locks to lift and lower vessels between sea levels. 11 years after work resumed, the canal opened. It's not just a marvel of engineering, it's a living machine that still moves over 15,000 ships every year. And despite modern updates, it runs much like it did a century ago. Number 1. The 12 Apostles. Along Australia's southern coastline stands a group of limestone pillars called the 12 Apostles, though their number doesn't quite match the name. Formed by erosion over tens of millions of years, these rock stacks rise from the Southern Ocean near Victoria's Port Campbell National Park. Wind, waves, and time shaped them into what they are now. Imposing, rough-edged figures standing in the surf like nature's own sculptures. What's ironic is that only 9 remain, and even those are under constant threat from the same forces that created them. The beauty lies in that tension. These formations are admired precisely because they're temporary. They've withstood millions of years, but no one knows how much longer they'll hold. Some have already collapsed. For those who visit, there's a quiet urgency to see them before the sea takes more away. Their presence along the shoreline feels earned, not designed, and that makes them worthy of attention, even if their future is uncertain. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.